Hello.
Hi, Jasmine. Can you hear me?
I'm here. I'm Jasmine Renee Davis.
Hi, this is Shalonda Black. How are you?
What do you mean? How am I? What's the subject?
You left me a voice message and you asked that I call you back.
Yes, I have some serious complaints that are stemming from your office, and your employees are have been giving me a very hard time. I just can't seem to talk to them. Can't seem to get any information. They're even telling me I can't email them. I gotta send stuff through the mail and all that. I mean, they're just kicking my ass. And I don't appreciate it. It's just a lot of things that have been inappropriate. And the more I learn, the more I ask about, and they just don't want to cooperate with their job description, and talk to me appropriately. They don't want to address the tax intercept issue. Like, I want to know, okay, well, if the money was tax intercepted, how come no one knows where the money is? I'm asking about, okay, well, Derek Lewis, what about his case? What about Terrell Morris's case? They're separate issues. They should not be combined. What about the county of Kenosha taking my money, not giving me any notice? No one's telling me anything about it, and they're avoiding it. Not telling me who did it, not wanting to explain. That's Angelina Ellis and Laura Irvin. They're just highly disrespectful. And then now I'm dealing with the mess from James Shore, and I just said, you know what, I'm not going to deal with this any longer. I'm going to have to file a more of a formal complaint. I had let them know that previously, where it was at first, where Angelina Ellis was not even returning my emails, and then I had to send her like just a picture of a complaint form, and then that's when she tried to respond, but they always avoid my emails and just give me the bare minimum, or send me some just very generic link, or they're not really talking to me. And I've asked them, can you please, I don't want you to be on my case, you don't want to talk to me, you're rude, you're telling me that I can't email you, that I have to send things through mail. What difference if I send it through mail or email? I mean, what's the difference? This is just a bunch of bull. And I don't like how they are bullying me. I don't like how they're attacking me, keeping information from me, won't send me the papers that I asked. Just It's just too much drama, and I'm so over the whole child support program. And I just want to begin to. I'm going to file a lawsuit against the child support agency. It's just been a long time coming. This has been years and years and years of things, just even inappropriately, not adding up the amount of money that I was supposed to get through child support from different employers of like Derek D. Lewis. They had him. He's making like $60,000 a year. They still have him, and had him for years, only paying the amount at zero. These are things that are tremendous, and they're a detriment to me. And I'm sure that if they're not knowing, that I can understand it, they're going to find that they're going to continue to make it seem like they're going to get away with it, as if, like, no, you're supposed to increase the amount, you're supposed to do your job. And I'm like, what's the point of having you all, what is your mission statement? What do you do? Like, they never want to talk to me. I asked them, please explain the child support program. Please send me my documents from when I signed up for the child support program. I would like to overlook the contract. And they don't want to send me anything. They don't want to have anything to do with me. They're just highly unprofessional. Misconduct is just, it's so abusive. um they're also robbing. They've robbed me for thousands of dollars. I mean, how are you telling somebody that's making $60,000 to only pay, just maybe $100 a month or something, or less than that, or things like that? Like, it's not making sense at all. And then, like I said before, send me documentation where the county of Kenosha was taking my child support payments with no court order, no notification. I don't know who did it, but I know that it was taken. And it was said, but they're refusing to tell me from who. Angelina Ellis, James Schuer, Laura Irvin are all not telling me who took where the money was going. James Schuer couldn't tell me much because it's not his case. But those other two, Laura Irvin, and she's just not even. I don't even know how she's in a supervisor position, but and Angelina Ellis, they're just refusing, and they speak down like, I try to tell them, listen, you're employees of the child support agency. You're not my case manager. You are employees. This is a business situation. You have been hired to perform a job. This is not personal. I'm not going to talk to you like we're friends. I'm not friendly. This is a business matter. And I don't appreciate them trying to belittle me and handle me like I'm their friend, like they, are my boss or that I'm some slave of theirs. It's just highly disrespectful, and I'm not going to take it. I don't have to take it, and I want to continue to grow and thrive in professional situations, and I'm not going to sit here and play and be walked over and constantly deal with the mess, through the Department of Children and Families. I mean, they're working with, running my business through Division of Children and Family Services, and, just all kinds of shit I find that it's inappropriate, though. Even when I call the 1-262-697-4500 number, they're playing games. I mean, it's like the whole building, it's just a bunch of mess. I have cases in court, and I've been calling them out for a long time, and they're being caught up. I don't like the slavery-like conditions. I don't like them withholding my information. Again, like, they're not giving me anything but very generic. Like, when I call, have to ask so many times that I was given a phone number. The phone number didn't tell me anything other than what the Way to Go program did. The Way to Go program is also a horrible, oh my goodness. It's horrible. They're disrespectful. They don't explain much. It's hard to even file like claims of fraud or anything to get any money back from them. They're just very disrespectful. I don't like the slang, how they talk. It just very, it's just inappropriate. But two, not only that, it's just a way that all of it is being handled. The assumptions, the not knowing for sure, like with Terrell Morris, he's always had a job. It's just, I'm trying to figure out, okay, I know that if he's not working, I know he's filing unemployment. I mean, without a doubt. I mean, and so to not get the exact information, to not know, and then the payments are not coming through, and then with Derek Lewis, these people are telling me, oh, you're getting more than what you were supposed to. I'm like, no, every money that I get, I'm supposed to have. That man owes money. He owes more than what you all are holding him accountable for. And you talking mess to me. And instead of them doing their job, they're committing fraud by accepting a paycheck and refusing to do their job. And I don't appreciate it. And they choose to be lazy when they talk on the phone, like, I don't have any authority, like I'm nothing. Like, as if just because I'm Jasmine Renee Davis, they don't have to do shit for talk to me about anything. They could just ignore me because I'm fighting fighting the city, the state. It's rumor, everybody know it. It's been a problem, but they're unprofessional, and I do not appreciate it. I tried not to involve you, Shalonda Black, in the situation. I know I talked to you a few years ago about some complaints previously or whatever, but I find that it is inappropriate for me to have to keep begging these people to do their job and to tell me, the things that I want, me requesting paperwork to be sent to me, even through email, even, through mail. Things that are appropriate. I have a right to look over the contract. I have a right to look at these things. I've asked for paternity documents where, like how did child support determine paternity, all the stuff that you all get. I want all of my paperwork, and they just don't want to give it to me. And that is a problem. And when I'm asking now, that's what's telling me, like, what are y'all really up to? I'm not letting you pimp me. I'm not letting you slave me. And I sure do not like the fact that it's such a small amount, and then I would have to have someone like Derek Lewis on child support for like 20, 30, 50 years. That is a mess. I'm not doing that. And you all are not going. I say you all because that's the your place of employment, but I'm not going to allow the child support agency or the state of Wisconsin to use me to locate these people and do whatever. You all are keeping the track of my addresses. You can use my social security number, find where I'm working, where I'm staying, anything all over the United States of America. And I don't appreciate that. And that's why I try to tell them, like, give me my information. I want my stuff. Then I can determine how I want to look at this situation, because I don't have to deal with you all. And it's just like they are not filing stuff in court. Oh, they send stuff to an address that they don't know about. Okay, why not send it, to an address where you can get from him or whatever. So when you all are filing stuff in court, if he does not show up, it's just like, oh, well, nothing changes, nothing happens. But it's been times where he has literally had to, Derek Lewis has went to jail. But how is that fair, where you all are sending people to jail until they can pay the money, and they can't get out until they pay the money? How is that even legal, to keep someone sometime for the rest of their life in jail? Because who some people can't even get $200, or who can get $25,000 or something like that. It's hard for people. If somebody is not able to pay $1,000 on the outside, how are they going to pay it on the inside? And you keep them in jail. And I just wanted to talk to them about that and tell them I just don't appreciate that. And I want to I don't need to go through them for anything. But I was trying to have the conversation because it means something to me. And I don't want to be used to abuse them or anyone. And then I don't want you all abusing me, and what you have been. It's times where I have called to ask questions about the case, and it's just, well, she's gonna, Angelina Ellis is gonna call Derek Lewis, and I said, okay, well, if I wanted to ask Derek a question, I would have called Derek. I don't need you all to be a go-between and, talk to him and ask him questions and say that I told you just because you want to talk to him. You want to talk to him, you call him on your own. And that has been a serious problem with even Division of Children and Family Services. That's another Department of Children and Families agency. You're not going to use me to build a relationship with these guys or whatever. I call and ask you to do your job. These are questions that you're supposed to know. And then when you say that you're going to call, and then I ask, like, okay, what happened on the phone call, then I get ignored. You don't tell me what happened, what information you got. You don't answer my question. And so it's disrespectful. Like, oh, seriously? So I literally asked you a question. You want to use me calling when I'm first knowing that you're on the case. This is Angelina Ellis. And then talking to Derek Lewis, and then not wanting to discuss with me ever about the conversation, and then having her to say, like, oh, she replied to my messages, and no. And then they send little generic replies that are not answering my questions. I'm sure that you can access the emails. I have the emails. It's been times where I wasn't even getting, something happened back in January where I don't know where the money had went, but it wasn't coming, and it took a while. Like, it was something happened, and I was like, okay, why my money not coming through? Like, what's going on? And it gets like that. Sometimes the money is not coming through. It comes through all different days and all kinds of stuff. And so these are just questions that I have that should be able to be answered. If they can't answer the questions, or you or whoever, in the same day, I mean, why not ever answer them? Or why give me some random reply? Like, what is your job description? What are you supposed to do? And it's basically like, they don't have to do anything. Never have to talk to me. Never have to answer my questions. I'm not their boss. They don't have to answer shit for me, is how they make it seem. And so these are tremendous problems that I have, and I've had enough of it. And like I said, I've been dealing with this for a while, and I just don't like it. The misinformation in court, the attorneys not withdrawing from the case, me not being able to even talk to the attorneys to access anything. I'm not getting any information that I want. And then for you all to then withhold me requesting the contracts and information about the agencies and the programs and all that so I can evaluate whether or not the program is appropriate for me. You're withholding information, and it's now an uninformed consent type of situation too. They have to realize, and you have to know that that is a serious problem. And so that's why I called. Very serious. I'm not gonna just be played with and toyed with and all that. I am my own person, and I'm going to make sure people understand not to take my kindness for weakness, and I mean business. I don't need to make friends with the people at the child support agency. That's not what this is about. I don't want to try to have them as if they're my family. I can make my own friends. I can handle my own stuff. And it's like the shit is getting really ridiculous to the point where it's a conflict of interest, and a lot of them have a personal conflict. It's a lot of hatred type of things, but it's just tremendous misconduct, discrimination too. I mean, it's just an awful situation. So that's why I told you the information, and just want to try to see what how you gonna handle your part, because I plan to, so you won't be alarmed. And I don't appreciate. It seems like they're sabotaging you, as you know, their manager and administration, because they know that you're responsible for them, their job overall, and they're constantly being disrespectful, constantly being disruptive. And they just, why would they want to constantly stay on my case knowing that they're not going to do anything? I ask all legitimate things. And a lot of people, Shalonda Black, that are on child support, they don't have a lot of education. They're happy to get the money if they can. They're struggling. Some of them just don't know any better, don't have any access, and some just let you all do whatever. And so they take advantage of that and starve the families. It's a poverty stricken situation as well. And I just don't appreciate that. And so, like I said, I'm coming for all my information, all of my paperwork. It does not matter. Nobody is supposed to take any money from a court order that's in my name. That money, you all were not supposed to let nobody take my money in 2024. With that money was court ordered to me. And then you did not even notify me that it was being taken, who was taking it. I did not know what was happening with the money. And then there was no change in the court order, the court activity, or anything. And then you all know where it went, and you still are not telling me. That's a huge problem. So, like I
Okay,
said, this.
Jasmine, I hear, yeah. I do hear that you have a lot of concern and kind of like distress, disappointment with the system and how you've been handled, is what I'm hearing you say. And you have a lot of questions. You do want a lot of answers. I did hear you say a lot that you want access to your paperwork. And so let me just start with that. Then, if you're looking to get your paperwork and your files, um, the courthouse is keeper of records. Okay, so anything that gets filed and that goes through court is going to be in a court file at the courthouse in the family court office. If your name is on that file, you can have access to it. You can go to room 109 with your ID, and you can ask to see your file. If you're looking to get copies of anything in your file, you just, they charge $1.25 per, well, back in the day when I worked there, it was like $1.25, so I don't know, but they do charge to make copies, but they will make copies for you of whatever it is you want in the file. So whatever the you would have is going to be based off everything that went to court. So we keep certain files, not everything, but we keep certain things just about the child support order. We have a copy. Your originals are going to be in your file at the courthouse. So if you're looking for that paperwork, I would recommend that you start there so that you can see everything that has happened in your case and what the commissioner or the judge has ordered over the years. Okay?
No, because I'm referring to the actual paperwork that did not happen in court. I'm referring to the stuff that you all have in your office. You even said that you all have some paperwork. I'm referring to the contracts that I made with you all, the paperwork that I signed, even when it was told like, well, I don't want Derek Lewis knowing my address. All of that paperwork. I'm not talking about the court activity. I'm talking about the stuff that has happened between your actual agency and me. I'm talking about the paternity information. I'm talking about what your program is about. I'm talking about the contracts that were signed. All of the stuff that is not from the courts. I know I can get court activities from the court orders from the court. The court does not have all of the stuff that you all have as far as the initial contract, the things like that, as far as the paperwork I signed and all of the other information that you all know that you have. I've asked about the paternity results, the testing, and how you determine that, and all that different stuff. I've asked just about. It was no court order, Shalonda Black. Like when they were taking my money in 2024, you all know where it was going. It did not go through the courts. You have to tell me in writing.
What happened in 2024? If you think, I don't know what happened in 2024 and that you're referring to your money being taken.
The money from the case with Derek Lewis, somebody in Kenosha County was taking my money. Your agency was giving my money for months to whoever. And it was told to me, I still have the emails, but they're not telling me who it went to, and they're not verifying it, and they won't send me the paperwork. I was never notified or anything like that. It happened to come up. James Shore told me randomly in conversation through email about it, but he didn't have much to say about it because it was not his case. But he confirmed that Kenosha County was drafting my money. They were intercepting my money. I don't know if it's called intercepting, but that's what I'm saying. They were taking my money without a change in court order. There is no change. It has not been any change in the court order. They did not even notify me. You didn't, and no one else did. So that's what I'm telling you. It's some strange stuff going on in your office that if you're saying that you don't even know about. They're supposed to tell me, send me a letter and say my money that's my child support order in my name is court ordered to me. If it does not come to me, it has to get another court order to go to someone else, and it was not. You all did not tell me that my money was no longer coming to me, and now you won't tell me where it was going to.
Okay. Let me back up. So, okay, you already know you can go to family court office to get a copy of the documents. We're not looking for that. Paternity information will be in that file because that ends up getting filed. How results were determined, that's through the whoever did the testing back then, which is before my time. But you probably be able to see the agency that did the testing in your court file. That would be there. In terms of the contract you're saying, I'm not sure what contract because we don't have people sign contracts unless you signed an application to apply for services or if you were ever on benefits such as medical or child care or W-2, then we get a referral from economic support to child support. And whenever you apply for benefits such as medical or child care or W-2 benefits or caretaker supplement, whenever you apply for those benefits, there's documentation in there that states you have to cooperate and participate in the child support program. So that comes from the other side of the house, which you would have signed off on your application when you asked for those services. So that would be in that documentation there, just explaining what child support is and why we're involved and what you're required to do. Um, I don't know what happened in 2024. I'd have to look at the case. I'm not sure. You did indicate that you wanted to file a complaint. If you like, I can mail you the document. You did give me your email address in the voicemail, so I have it. Is it jasminereneedavis.law at hotmail.com?
That's my electronic mail. Yeah, that's the email.
Okay. Okay. I'll email you the forms. I'll have to go online, email them to you, because it sounds like that's what you want to do. It's just to file more of a formal complaint, right?
That's not all. I want to know, and I want it in writing, where that money went, the exact amount, who had it, and I want the money back. But not only that, though, you all should know that I did sit down also with the child support worker, and there was paperwork that I had to literally fill out for through the from the child support agency. I know that, and yes, it was because I was
I'm
getting
sorry for
foods.
services. Go ahead.
No, I mean, were you saying something? Because I'm trying to explain to you because I already know. I even signed paperwork to not disclose my address. I know that. And I know for sure. I know that you all have policies that you can send me. I know that whatever it is, yeah, you guys probably did also file it with the courts or whatever. But not only that, there is paperwork that you all have of mine in your office. And I just want to access all what you have. And for that to be withheld from me too, that's a further problem. The policy, what your program is about, your objective, your mission statement, all that stuff, that could be given to me. It's no reason why that cannot be sent to me. For me to overlook the contract and all the different stuff and the information that is involved, that should be, I should have all of that stuff. Things were signed, things were looked over, and there was paperwork that I had to fill out. I don't know what you mean about the other side of the house or all that other language or whatever, but I just want to talk specifically, professionally, know exactly what you mean. I don't want to have to try to figure it out or any of that stuff. Who has the paperwork? And I want to get my information. These people are collecting a paycheck and they don't want to do any work. They're not asking questions. They're disregarding me on every single turn. And they know that the money has also been taken without a court order, me being notified. And it's just they're doing a lot of favors apparently for others behind my back. And they're just taking upon themselves. Whatever they got going on, that's fine. But I'm not about to let them sit up here and use me. And I see that you have not addressed them accurately calculating for all these years the amount of money that Derek Lewis was supposed to pay. And then also with Terrell Morris, I had to mention, and then eventually James Shore said that he has to send a letter to Terrell Morris's employer where he worked at to change it because it was like $10 off. But that's not as significant as Derek Lewis making 60 or more $1,000 a year, but you all still have him paying the same amount as he paid when he did not have any job, or if he was making maybe $100 a week or something like that. The attorney's not withdrawing from the case, them not doing what they're supposed to do. I mean, it's just so many things. And but that's okay because I'm gonna address it in my own way. I mean, if you all don't have the information, somebody does. And the Department of Children and Families and whoever is responsible, they're gonna have to know it. But as far as that money that was taken, that is your responsibility to know what's happening in your agency. And so I'm sure that you can get that information. I'm not going to just allow you or not to tell me. That's just going to be a huge problem. And as I told them, I can file a civil suit or whatever. It's a personal conflict. If they're refusing to let me know, then that is outside of the job description. There is nothing that they should hide from me, keep from me, and not be aware of in their actual job. Whatever's at that job, it should be told to me and disclosed to me. It's no reason why they're hiding any information from me and keeping it from me. That is very unprofessional. It's unreliable. You all have too much access to too much of my information, and I just don't appreciate that stuff being kept from me at all. No court
Okay.
order, no letter, but you all were just letting someone just pass my money over. Like it probably may have started I know it probably started in like January, between January and February, like in 2024, somewhere around there. I don't have the exact dates, but I know the money was being taken, stolen from me. So
Okay. Well, let me do this is I will look up the complaint form and I will send it to you. And I think that's probably your best bet to start there because then that goes to the state, and then they will take a look at it and let us know or respond back to you. I'm not over the complaint process, but I can definitely send you the forms.
okay, what about your employees telling me that I can't send them emails, that I got to mail in now? I can't even ask them questions. Talking about I'm asking them circular. None of my emails are the same. If something is changing, I send them an email every once in a while. And maybe, maybe once every few months, I may email them throughout a day or something like that, or a couple days. If they're not replying, I might follow up the next week and ask them, hey, how come you're not replying? Why are they able to tell me that they're just no longer going to talk to me through email?
Um, that would not come from me. So if that decision was made, it would have been made by our manager in the department. I think our manager is Laura. Um, and so if that decision is made, I can't explain why. Sometimes, I mean, you're not the only one that I've heard do that. If with the workers, if they feel like there's no breakthrough, or if they feel like they're answering the same things or not, the communication, maybe the communication is getting stalled, um, then to write the agency and then respond back. Have you ever tried to write the agency and then gotten a written response back?
That's not even making sense. It sounds pretty stupid because, first of all, I don't care how many times I ask a question. If it's valid, it's valid. It's no reason to try to fight me and tell me that I have. What is going to be the difference between me mailing in something or sending electronic mail?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I understand. I
Laura
get that,
Irvin
but
is
I just
full of
that's my
mess. I don't appreciate her actions. I don't know if she told James Shore to do the same thing, but he came back. You should read. And matter of fact, I'm gonna forward you this most recent email. And I was actually telling him how I appreciate his efforts, but they do not. They give me very generic replies. I'm not gonna keep having to
okay.
get this little piece of information from them. They treat me like I'm fucking stupid, and I don't appreciate it. They're not qualified to
Yeah.
be on my case. I want somebody that's more intelligent, that can handle thorough conversations, and it's not them. They are too like illiterate and disrespectful, and they mistreat me. They show me nothing but abuse and misconduct, and they playing around. They don't know how serious this is. This ain't no game to me. It's child support. This is some serious shit. Like, people's lives are like out in the open at risk. I'm not about to play with these people. It's too much. And they sit there and they mistreat people like it's a joke or a game. They abuse government funding, and I'm not gonna let them do it to me. I'm not in that government. I'm not on food stamps. I'm not on medical. I'm not on any of that shit. And that's another thing I asked them. Like, I'm not on any public aid. So what does that mean for me to still stay on child support? Is what kind of public aid is that? How are you all using my information? Where does it go? Please explain this, because I want to know whether or not